Everybody, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is my weekly angel card reading video, except this is actually a fortnightly edition. I am going away, so I'm doing 2 weeks worth of cards in one reading. Let's hope it doesn't get too long. Okay, so we're starting on February the 11th and rolling through to the 17th. Wait, that's 1 week. 24th. The 11th to the 24th. I had to check my diary because remembering 7 days is hard enough, but remembering 14, too much. Let's start with Monday. So I'm going to try not to get too carried away here. You are a powerful light worker. Beautiful start. Okay, so the term light worker is just a term that's bandied about. It really just means anyone who's here to work with the divine. So if you're watching this, that's probably you. You might not necessarily do that in a professional capacity like I do. You might just do that to help bring love and light to your friends or the people around you, or you might just use it to help yourself grow and learn. You know, if you have been drawn to this sort of stuff, there's a good chance you're a light worker. There's no simple test to determine it. It's just the knowingness that you have. You know, everybody has intuition, but if you feel called to actually use that and develop it, that would be an indication that you are a light worker. And this card is addressing any issues that you might have around that. Maybe you're not comfortable with it. Maybe you're not sure how people will treat you because of that. Or maybe it just feels profoundly unsafe to you, as it did for me. Reason being, a lot of light workers have been punished in past lives for being spiritual, for being healers, for being you know, harmed in some way, particularly if they were women. We've all been men and women in past lives as well, by the way. So don't think that because you're a man you don't have this stuff in your energy. You could well do. You know, women have been second-class citizens for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and therefore any woman who stood out in any way or was powerful, even if it wasn't in the spiritual capacity, was probably punished and paid for it with her life. We can have that sort of, this feels risky, even if we don't know why we have that fear. It might be past life stuff. Already I'm off on a tangent. It's not a good start. But anyway, if you feel unsafe to be powerful, to stand out, to be who you truly are, then it could be something in your energy, and this is just asking you to be aware of it. And to one way you can, if you don't want to delve too much into the history or, you know, what might be going on underneath, it's to look at how you can sort of move forward in spite of the fear. Because fear, realistically, even if you sever the, you know, the cords between you and some harmful, well, not harmful, but energetic imprint that's holding you back, the fear can still show up, because it is a bit scary to stand out sometimes. And it might trigger all sorts of stuff around, I'm not good enough, or what will people think? And this is really asking you to not let that stop you from stepping up and doing what you are here to do. Tuesday the 12th. Decide to be happy now. So I remember many years ago someone told me that happiness was a choice, and I just thought that was utter nonsense, because of course you could choose to be happy if you had a lot of money and a great relationship and a fantastic social life and job. But I didn't realize that you can choose to be happy in spite of, not because of, your circumstances. Now, things do not have to be rosy in order for you to be happy. Now, when I say happy, I'm not saying that there is a total absence of guilt or fear or sadness or frustration. It's really just asking you, those emotions are totally healthy and totally normal. It's just asking you to choose, not to choose happiness, but to try not to let those drag you down, because when they do, you go into a negative spiral, and then it's very easy for you to just continue choosing those emotions. So whatever you're feeling, let yourself feel it, but don't stay in that negative kind of zone. Choose to lift yourself out and go, even though things are not great, there are still good things in my life, and there always are good things in your life. Look to the blessings. This is why gratitude, research shows that having a gratitude practice is so powerful when it comes to happiness and, you know, improved emotional well-being. So what are we on? The 13th of February. Caressa, this is the endings card, and I'll just read it. Those of you who know me know I don't always love the text, the way these cards are described, but this one I think is quite good. You're at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. So that word happiness has been repeated again. When we come to the end of something, particularly if it's not by choice, a job has, we've been laid off, made redundant, or someone's broken up with us, a friend has moved away, whatever's going on. If it wasn't by our choice, it's very easy to be resentful about that, and it's okay to feel resentful, but the angels are asking you to recognize that this might be a necessary ending for you, because something new, the universe needed to bring in something new for you. What's ahead is always better than what we are leaving behind. It's one of those important quotes that I live by. So do what you need to do to get through, however you feel about the sadness or disappointment of things ending, if it wasn't your choice. And but hold space for the possibility that what's going to come through is going to be even better. So know that endings are followed by new beginnings. I'm using the relationship card deck today for Thursday, because it is the 14th, St. Valentine's Day. Now, this is a card deck I use normally only in personal readings, because the messages are very specific to relationships, and I'm aware that you guys are in a number of different circumstances. Some of you are married, some of you are single, some of you are going through a breakup, some of you are just having tension in your relationship. So I'm trying to, this is a bit of a risk, but two cards have jumped out, which is good, because it means I can be more general. So I'm going to try and share a number of different meanings. Obviously, in a personal reading, I would be very focused about what that is. So the first card is pay attention to the red flags. This is a card, when I first saw it, freaked me out, because it looks so like danger, Will Robinson. But it is telling you it's not necessarily saying bad things are ahead in your relationship. It's just saying that you need to be really aware of what's going on. Do not disregard your intuition and what your intuition is telling you. Sometimes we can be a little bit deluded, particularly in the early, beautiful honeymoon stage of a relationship. But this is saying, be aware of the reality of the situation. Do not try and over-romanticize what's going on. That doesn't mean that terrible things are at play. It just means there might be things going on that you do need to be aware of that will need to be addressed. Otherwise, you could end up creating a situation for yourself. So you can almost actually see this woman here. Illustrations in this card deck are a little bit odd, but in this illustration, she's got a crazy hat, and she's pulled away the sides of it so she can actually see clearly. She's really recognizing what's going on, and that's what it's all about. No disrespect to the artists, but some of them are really, this is a classic example. Look at this illustration, it's so overdramatic. I just find the artwork on these, although it's some people's taste, to me, they're often a bit out of step with modern relationships, if I could put it like that. So release your ex. This is probably going to relate to the people that the previous card did not, or whatever your situation. It's about being tied to the past. Now, it may not be an ex that you are still connected with, but it may be something about the past that you need to let go of, and the card says the time has come to clear your energy. So maybe you're still holding on to an idea of what your relationship should be, or that's the sort of delusion, isn't it? Maybe you're still attached to the life you thought you would lead. Maybe you're trying to get back to the relationship you used to have, and not understanding that relationships are meant to change and develop. Maybe you are, what else can we be related? Yes, we can be attached to an old relationship. Maybe you still keep thinking about the one that got away, when in actual fact the person that got away was not meant for you. So look at where you might be attached to the past, even if it's about ideas, as opposed to actual events, and try to bring your energy out of that and into the present, to being where you are right now. If we are still reaching back to the past, we cannot reach forward properly, because we're going to be going like this, and we're going to be stagnant. So let's look at Friday's messages now. Yeah, Friday the 15th. Joy. Okay, beautiful. I love that we've got that connection between the happy card and now the joy. So, yeah, joy is something that we often think we need to earn. You know, I will celebrate when I deserve it, or I will celebrate when I find time, or when something good happens, or someone else is around. And this is saying, don't wait, do it now. Celebrate what's going on in your life, and make time for joy. Do not wait for it to find you. You need to be making that choice. So, yeah, do something nice for yourself, something that brings you joy. And yeah, that's probably enough on that. Let's move on to Saturday. This is, I don't know how I'm going to hold all these cards at once. Saturday, time for a nap, never not welcome. What a beautiful card. So this is the rest card. You need to take some rest today. And maybe you're extra tired, or may just be that your energy is so scattered that you're just getting nowhere, and the best thing to do is nothing. And it may be you need to take a rest from the things you're trying to push forward with, and it's not the right time for them. That's something you're saying to me now. So it may not be physical rest, although who's not up for that? It may be just an emotional rest, if that makes sense, or more of a energetic rest, I guess. So yeah, if you don't have time for a nap, don't worry about it. Ideally, if you can make time for it, that would be good. But maybe it's just needing to interrupt what you're doing and what you're trying to push forward with, and you can interrupt that with a meditation or grounding yourself. I spoke about that last week. Or just trying to, just trying to interrupt that cycle and take a pause. Hit the pause button, because maybe you're being held back for a reason. Let's go on to Sunday. They keep giving me two cards. This is so annoying. On a 2-week video, my hands are going to be full. Anyway, learning experience. So this is about understanding that the things that you are regretting, I just talked about being attached to the past, things that you're regretting, that you're feeling guilty about, or that you wish had never happened, they were a learning experience for you. And ideally, yes, it would be better if they hadn't have happened, but maybe they happened because you needed to learn something, and that was unfortunately the best way for you to learn. So the best way for you to move forward and to sever that connection is to learn the lesson so you can move on. And then nothing goes away until it teaches us what we need to learn. So, and this could be if you're struggling right now in whatever you're going through, it could be that the best way out is to look at your situation and go, what is the lesson here for me? That's what I find often can help me lift myself out instead of waiting for it to get better, which doesn't happen. The healing, I don't want to talk about too much because I think it's just kind of backing up these. If you want to heal, look at how you can find the lesson and what you can learn from this. And stop beating yourself up about the past. Whatever happened, it was for your growth. Okay, I'm going to just summarize this week and then I'll move on to next week. And 13 minutes, we're not doing too badly. So I think we've got messages about the choices we make in terms of our emotions and our, our disposition. Now, I'm aware we don't always choose emotions. I think a lot of people say we do. I think it's a bit oversimplistic, but I will say that we can choose how long we stay in those emotions and what we take from them, how we let them impact on us. So yeah, we've got that happiness and joy. So I think the angels are trying to encourage us to bring back more joy, and instead of being on struggle street constantly, and making peace with the past, I would say as well, in terms of the learning experience and the releasing from the past in terms of our love lives, which is a good one, I think, for Valentine's Day. Here I go again on a tangent, but I do think it's a day that I found really painful when I was single, because it felt like it was just exacerbating my loneliness and my feelings of complete inadequacy. And it wasn't until I kind of learned to see myself as complete and understood that I wasn't inadequate that I could actually be totally okay with Valentine's Day and not see it as a reminder that I was missing something because I realised I wasn't. But I think on a day like Valentine's Day, it can seem, if you are single, it can seem like things are going on that you're not party to, or that everyone else is speaking a language that you don't speak. Oh, sorry, my knee's jammed up. And so the card is asking you to, if you do want to welcome in a relationship, set yourself free from the past, first of all, and to that pay attention to your red flags could be a good one for being single as well, in terms of the universe will be trying to show you where you're getting yourself stuck and where you might be, where your thoughts might not be helping you. Now, I'm aware some people are totally happy being single, and before I met my partner, I certainly was. So don't feel like you need to do that stuff but there are certainly still things within those messages that can help you, even if it's not to ready you for a relationship. It might be just to have a better relationship with yourself. And those of you who know my videos know that I'm always talking about how every relationship is a reflection of the relationship we have with ourselves. So putting time and energy into that relationship is the best thing you can do for your life across the board. So Monday now, for the following week, the 18th, balanced friendships. This is about give and take. Needs to be a two-way street. If you are constantly propping someone up and they're not doing anything for you or to help themselves, keeping themselves a victim, keeping themselves stuck, and you're constantly dropping everything for them, that is an unhealthy friendship, and you need to set yourself free from it. You are not helping them at all. You are enabling them to stay stuck. And the reverse is true, and I don't really think this is going to relate to many people watching this, because I think you probably all probably more likely to be givers than you are takers, but certainly people who are all take and not giving anything, that's unhealthy too. And we're here to give and love, and give and receive love, and when we do it, that's how love expands. You don't get more love by giving more, but you will get more love if you give and receive more, if that makes sense. It kind of welcomes in space for more. Now, if you are not in a friendship where there's an unhealthy sort of relationship going on, look at where that might translate across the board. Maybe you're investing too much time in your work and not getting enough out of it. There's a lot of different ways that could be showing up for you, and I'll leave it up to you to use your intuition and your own discernment to figure out how that relates to you. Where is the word balance? Where are you out of balance? It is more speaking to our relationships with other people, I would say. So patience, I talked about last week with the gardening analogy, how that's such a powerful analogy in terms of spiritual growth, in that we sow the seeds, we have to keep tending to them, we have to keep watering them, weeding them, trimming them, so that things grow until they can develop into what they're here to do and become. And it's the same with you. You need to keep showing up and doing the work. You might feel like you're getting nowhere, but you are. It will take you probably your whole life to become your best self. It's an evolving process. When I started energy healing, I was so encouraged by how much I just seemed to be jumping forward and taking these great strides. And I would get discouraged by there was so much more work to do. Every time I'd sort of learn something and grow, be like, oh no, but now this stuff is coming up, and that's just the nature of our soul's development. We are here to keep learning, and new stuff will keep showing up for you. Don't let that put you off, but don't fall into the trap that I made of, as soon as I figure this out, everything's going to be fine, because there's going to be more stuff. And that's just kind of the deal. And certainly if you're a light worker, that's the deal as well. But remembering that the lower you go, the higher you rise. So be patient with the process. Keep doing that work. It's important, and there's nothing more important you could be doing in this lifetime, because if you don't, you stay stagnant, and certainly that's not what we're here to do. You know what happens to stagnant plants. They die. I'm not saying you will literally die, but your development will certainly be stuck. Oh, this card deck's completely wrong. I'm putting this down. Okay, we'll go with the Goddess card deck. Oh, these are getting really bent. I need to stop being so aggressive with my shuffling. So I never know how to say this woman's name. She's a Mayan goddess. Ishul, I think it might be. So the subtext is medicine woman, but it's not necessarily about health. So don't think about it that way. Think about it in terms of healing more broadly. So this is, you can see the lightning in this image. It's so powerful. It is about your own power to heal, to work through your stuff. I just talked about before about how long that can take, but know that you have the ability to do that. I'm getting the word alchemy coming through. Alchemy is a process of turning something into something else. So I think they're trying to say that the work you're doing on yourself is going to transform into something more powerful than you can see. So don't understate the importance of what you're doing in terms of working for your stuff, your commitment issues, your boundary issues, whatever it is, your where you need to forgive people. Keep doing it, because that is going to translate into a more powerful growth than you can see. And it's okay to not know how that's going to look. You don't need to know the destination necessarily. Excuse me. Thursday, Bethany, self-care. A really important one, particularly for women, because we are often raised to be the carers of everybody else at the expense of ourselves. And that's simply not true. If you don't look after yourself, you've got nothing left to give anyone else anyway. It's that whole thing, you can't pour from an empty cup. So remember to invest in yourself. Self-care is how you show the universe you know how much you're worth. You are worthy of this. You don't need to earn it. You are just worthy of care, love and care, and you're going to give that to yourself, because that's, the universe is working for you in that, and by giving you the tools to be able to do that. You've got to make sure you're not blocking yourself off from that as well. It's also that give and receive message as well, I think, making sure that you are letting yourself receive so that you can give more as well. Super, super important. People can, not always, but can sometimes think that's a luxury. It's not. It's a necessity. It's, You don't stop watering the garden and think that the plants need to earn it before you'll give them anything else. And the other thing about self-care, I see this a lot on Instagram. People talk about how it can be glorified as being all about the bubble baths and the pedicures and those kind of mini luxuries, and for sure that is part of self-care, but it's not just that stuff. The boring stuff like doing your washing, drinking plenty of water, eating enough vegetables, that is all self-care as well, and it's super, super important. Friday, new beginnings. So I talked about closure or endings. Oh goodness, I can't even remember what it was. Oh, so that was the Wednesday of the previous week. So and I've already discussed how we need things to end before new beginnings can happen. So if you're trying to reach for the new but you haven't let go of the old, it's not really going to work. If you've got hands full of grocery bags, you can't grab the new season offerings or whatever. You have to put things down and let them go in order to reach for more. Otherwise you'll be overloaded and you won't have capacity. So embrace those new beginnings, even though you don't know how they're going to shake out yet. I think it's probably enough to say we get new beginnings from time to time in these readings, and I don't know that I need to go into it too much, but it's a very hopeful card. It's really letting you know that wonderful things are ahead, which is reassuring, and it's hard to remember that sometimes when things haven't quite gone as we would have liked. Yin, yoga people, you're going to be all over this. So don't worry, it's not necessarily about yoga. Don't worry, everybody else. So yin is the feminine energy. It's we both have masculine and feminine energies, regardless of what gender we identify with. So the feminine energy is associated with nurturing, with wisdom, with intuition, with creativity. It's a bit more of a gentle, whereas our yang energy, the yin and yang you would have heard of before, I'm sure, in Eastern disciplines. The yang is about our drive, our motivation, our action. And we need to have a healthy balance of both, regardless of our gender, because we need to be able to stop and go and know intuitively when it's time for which. You can't have too much of one thing and not enough of the other. Also, a sexual energy would be the yin energy, in terms of a seduction kind of energy. I'm not talking about an aggressive type of sexual energy. It's more about intimacy, I guess. So, taking all that on board, where are you leaning too much in the masculine and not enough into the feminine? Are you so consumed by your job, which is potentially, most jobs are all about not take this wrong, but go, that drive, that real hunger, that acquisition type energy, and maybe when you come home you're not really shaking that off enough to really connect with your partner deeply, because you're too busy thinking about all the other action steps you need to take. Other yin things you could be doing. The yin yoga is a good one because it's the slow form of yoga. It is about lingering long in each pose or asana, and that is an analogy. If you want to do a yin yoga class, I definitely endorse it. It's so wonderful, but you don't necessarily need to do that. You just need to take the essence of that and taking longer to do things, being more restful, I guess, more gentle, taking a softer approach and allowing that healing to happen. Hopefully that made sense. I think I'm just trying to marry a whole bunch of different ideas at once, and I'm not sure I did my best job there, but I think if you think about what that feminine energy symbolizes, you will be able to apply that into your life. And for centuries and centuries we've been taught that feminine energy is a weakness, and we know now it's not. Vulnerability is our strength. So making sure you're not blocking yourself. I keep dropping these cards. This card deck is just not my friend today. So we're looking at the Sunday message here. Maybe I'll go with this card deck. I'm too much in my yang, aren't I? I'm trying to rush through this too quickly. That's what's going on here. So let's just slow it down and go with this card deck. I actually have a good feeling about this card deck. Manifestation power. So manifestation ties into the law of attraction. The law of attraction is all about what we focus on, what we invest in energetically and emotionally is what we will attract. A lot of people simplify it and say it's as simple as saying, I want that, and then it will come to you. It doesn't work like that. I've said this before, and I will say it many times again. The universe is not Uber Eats. You cannot just put in an order and wait for it to show up. You have to do the work in making it happen. So this is asking you to engage in that process of really focusing on what you want. You do need to be, you need to set your intentions quite clearly and make sure you're not setting goals that you don't believe on some level will never happen. If you're setting a goal of, I want to attract a healthy long-term relationship, but on some level you think, there aren't enough good men or women out there, whatever it is, or I'm not good enough for it, or I'm just unlucky in love. That's not me. I'm just raising the energy from that. But I'm saying there are ways that we can set goals that we actually are not really committing to. Similarly, if you set a goal, but you go and invest your actual action steps, your energy, your physical energy into the opposite, you are self-sabotaging there. Inadvertently self-sabotaging. For example, if you go back to that relationship goal, if you are dating people who are not right for you, doing casual flings, it's just not, you're not investing in that goal, in that ultimate goal of what you want. So really commit to your goals. Use the law of attraction. Google more about it to find out more if you would like to, if that resonates with you. And know that they can happen as long as you're really invested in and prepared to do the work. If you want to earn $1 million in your new side hustle, you're going to need to put in a lot of work to make that happen. So it's not just a case of believing in it. Okay. I'm just trying to find what our themes would be. Some of these themes have carried over from last week, and I don't know if I'm just saying that because I just read for last week, but we had the endings last week and now we've got the new beginnings. I do think that, and also that patience, I think, relates to last week as well. But I think here we had this card about Ishul, sorry if I'm getting that wrong, in terms of you being able to conduct your own healing and to really make big changes in your life, is strongly connected to this patience one as well, about knowing it will take time. And again, that's with the manifestation. It takes time to achieve things, but keep doing the work anyway, because it will happen for you. I think that would be the strongest theme of the week. I think, that yin one ties in quite nicely to the patience one as well. So thank you very much for watching. I am away, but I will always be on social media because, hey, modern life, you can't get away from it. I would love to say I'm taking a break, but it's not always possible when you're self-employed. But maybe I should channel some of that yin energy and actively stay off it as much as I can. But I will still be posting on each card each day, as I have every day for the last 4 years, and except for one time when I was overseas and the Wi-Fi went down. But aside from that, every day. And my Instagram is at One Grounded Angel. My Facebook page is called One Grounded Angel. You can reach me. My website is www.onegroundedangel.com, and you can reach me by clicking on the bookings tab. If you're not interested in booking, you can just click the tab. It's within that booking form, the drop-down menu that says for more information. And I think that's all I need to tell you. I'll be back on board in 2 weeks' time to do just a regular 1 week, because frankly 30 minutes is a long time for people to pay attention. So if you've made it this far, well done. Thank you very much, and I will look forward to reading for you towards the end of February. Take care.